Let's talk today about opportunities in the military. All right, that is what I want to talk to you guys about. Um, you see, I would give I'll give you guys a brief background about myself first, and not that I'm going to talk so much about myself because I don't have to put everything about myself out there. Um, I'm just going to give you a brief, of course, for you guys that have been following me over the past few months or years. Some of you guys would know a little bit more, but for folks that started following me within maybe the last 2-3 months, and you've never taken the time to go back on some of my lives, what I do, you might not know much about me. So what I want to say to you guys is today I want to talk because I've had a lot of questions. People asking me about, hey Ibrahim, my son or my daughter, just graduated high school. So welcome, guys. Welcome, by the way. Welcome. Like I always say, these live sessions is just about sharing information. I just want to ensure that I do the best I could to share as much, the little knowledge that I have about certain things. I don't have the answers to everything, but the little things that I know, I want to share with you guys, right? Because everything I'm going to say is out of my own experience. So that's why I'm going to talk to you guys about the opportunities in the military, basically. What sort of opportunities you have, in the military. It is not the only way to go, but it's one of the ways to go, and one of the most important ways to go in America. It creates so many opportunities for you, not only immediately, but in the long run and in the long term, right? So you see a lot of people that have, in the military, enjoy a lot of perks, a lot of benefits, lots of, advantages to it, because in America, unlike Africa, Sierra Leone, and all these other countries where they don't value military service, these parts of the world that we find ourselves in, people value military service. So that's what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about anything of the nursing today, but just to touch that real quick for you guys that were joining me, I'm not talking about the nursing process that we have going on. I'm looking forward to say, hopefully, like I said again, by Monday, over the weekend, we may be able to send you guys emails to give you directions to the office. We'll talk about that. We are yet to confirm all of that. But once that is ready, I'll let you guys know. But for today, I'm not talking about the nursing program. If you want to know more about the nursing program, I would advise you go down on my page. There is a posting that I did about 2 days ago. Go and read that. Guys, you have to read. A lot of you guys don't read everything. You just want it so easy. Read. I want you to read and understand exactly what we're doing. And then we'll take it from there. Because sometimes the questions you want to ask, it's already answered. So there's no point in you asking the same question that is already answered. So that's not what I'm talking about today, all right? The program that the process that I'm going to guide you guys through, those that are nurses. Again, you have to have a diploma in nursing or a BSc or a BSN in nursing, one way or the other, right? Like I said, I'm also going to talk about university opportunities. Yes, guys, if you want to pursue your master's, first degree, whatever it is, you can do it. It's money, but you can do it. I just want to establish that fact. Yes, you can do that. Okay? But I want to talk about military opportunities, and I'm not going to sway away from that. I'm going to stay on that point. I'm going to stay focused on that and talk about that. Military opportunities for young men, and young women, those of us in the diaspora. Because like I said again, when you look at, other parts of the, the world, especially like say in Sierra Leone, military are not respected. We see the conditions of living. We see what the barracks looks like, the military barracks. Here we call them bases, military bases. For some of you guys that have never been to some of these bases, you wouldn't understand what a military base would look like. But in Africa, the military, men and women are not valued at all. There is no respect for them. And I always talk to my brother, Comrade Koita. Of course, if you guys that follow us on WhatsApp as well, when we do our messages, Comrade Koita is served in the military for 28 years. Not only as a weapons instructor, but as an educator in the military. So he's one of those people that I think when you look at their service, and when he tells you the amount of pension that he's getting, you say, oh my God, shame, a disgrace. because in these parts of the world we find ourselves, like in America, retired after 28 years in the military, that man is set for life, you know. But let me talk about, you know, the getting into the military and all of this. There is a lot of misconception, you know, when certain people think when they say military, you know, it's you're going to war, you're going to go fight and this and that. There is a lot of specialties within the military. But before I even talk about that, when we say military, you have different branches of the military. In America, which is what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about Sierra Leone military right now, or asking you guys to join the military in Sierra Leone. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about opportunities here, where I am in America, right? Which I know, you know, that's what I want to talk about. So when you look at, you have the Air Force, which I am in the Air Force. You have the Marines. You have the Army. The Army, because people just say, oh, Army, where is the Army? They feel say, no, the Army are one. No, it's not for one. They're different branches, right? But all of these branches come together to support each other. You have the Navy, you know, you have the Coast Guard, right? And the Marine Corps. So you have the Air Force, you have the Army, you have the Navy, you have the Marine, and the Coast Guards, right? Everybody getting specialty. So in the Air Force, as an example, we have a lot of pilots. They fly jets, all the planes, and this and that. That is in the Air Force. But also we have the Medical Corps in the Air Force, where you have, you know, optometrists, you have dentists, you have, you know, cardiologists. You have all kinds of specialties, ophthalmologists, you know. So there are a lot of specialties, a lot of jobs, and both from the commissioned side and the enlisted side. And I want you guys to understand these two parts in the military. You can come in as an enlisted or as a commissioned. So commissioned is what we call officers, where you start from LTJG. Sometimes even you start as an ensign. So ensign, and those are the ones that are going to college, going to school in the military. The military is paying for them to go to school as ensign, right? When they graduate, they finish. A couple of years later, they become an LT, you know, a lieutenant, and then a second lieutenant. And then you make captain, and after captain you make major. That is the Air Force structure, right? Because the Navy is a little bit different when it comes to the structuring. But all the officers, it is the same, you know, pay grade. So in terms of, say, 01 all the way to 09, right? That's the pay grade, that's the pay structure. That is more stuff that you can do research on to find out what is commissioned and what is enlisted. Enlisted, which I am an enlisted officer in the military, right? I am currently a master sergeant in the Air Force, which means I am E7. The Air Force, you have E1 all the way to E9 as a pay grade, right? So I am a master sergeant with a pay grade of E7, which means I have 2 more levels to make chief of the Air Force, right? So I want you guys to understand this. But these are things you will do the research to find out more about that. But I just want to focus on the opportunities for young men and women, especially those that are finishing high school. I want to give you guys these stories. My neighbor that is across from me right here, of course, he is almost close to retirement right now. He has done almost 22 years and he's about to come out. Let me tell you how old he is. He's going to be 47. So at 47, he's coming out. After 20 years, over 20 years of service, this man is going to be making money, good money, right? He's going to be getting pension from the military, good. And he's also going to start working now for the government at the top level, say a GS15 grade. GS15, your salary starts at maybe $120,000, $130,000 a year, if not more. I would have to look that up. But for some of you guys that understand the GS system, how it works, but that is the benefit of working in the military. So, you know, imagine as a young man, young woman, let's say you go to college, because there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can go to college, or immediately after you finish high school, you can go enlisted. Because for you to become an officer, you have to have a college degree. So it is either you go to college, graduate after 4 years, then commission into the military, or the military through programs like the ROTC, or going through the academies. There are certain academies. I want you guys to listen attentively. There are certain academies which you can, if they approve your application, because again, the competition is very stiff. So, for example, the Naval Academy, there is one in Annapolis, in Maryland, Annapolis, in Maryland, right? The city is Annapolis, the state is Maryland. Every year, they get more than 4,000 to 5,000 applications. So, if all they need, all they want is about 1,000, plebes is what they will take every year. They call them plebes, the freshmen every year, the ones that come, they call them plebes. 1,000. It is a long process of application. You have to go through your senator, your state senator, all of that for them to give you a letter of recommendation and stuff like that, right? You can start that whilst your kids are in high school. You can start the process from 9th grade all the way till they finish high school. You can start the process. So that's one way of getting into the military, because they go to school, they pay for you, you're in school. Whilst you go to school, you're getting paid in these academies, right? It's nothing, it's not substantial, but you're getting paid. And then when you graduate, you have a contract, say for 6 years or 8 years, and you work for the military in your specialty. When it's done, your contract is done, you can continue to work for the military, or you can say it's enough, I'm done. So I want you guys to understand this, okay? Or if what my friend, I'm going to give you this example again. This, my friend, my neighbor here, what he did was he enlisted. So when you enlist, you go to boot camp. They send you off to boot camp, like the Air Force, they'll send you to Lackland Air Force Base, right? You go there for at least, I think, about 2 months. When I went to basic training, it was a little bit longer. Back in, a few years ago. It's been a couple of years. I don't want to put everything about me out here outrightly, right? But now it takes about 2 months. You go for basic training, and after you finish basic training, which prepares you and shapes you up, basic training is what really changes your life. You would notice that your child, when they go to basic training and they come back, you would notice the difference automatically, because they're disciplined, they're taken care of. I would recommend you watch videos on boot camps, on say, for example, Air Force boot camp, basic training of the Air Force. I want you to look at that, or look up the Marines, or the Army, or the Navy, or the Coast Guard. Look up the boot camp. Watch videos on that on YouTube. I recommend that for you. But those are some of the ways you can get into the military. So when you enlist, you come in, you go for boot camp. When you graduate those 2 months of boot camp, then the military sends you to school to go study your specialty. That is what is important now. You can go into optometry, you can go into radiology, you can go into working on the planes, all kinds of different fields. Dentist, dental tech, lab techs, you can work in the laboratories, all of that stuff. So all kinds of subspecialties. You can go have a job to work as a technician, and you're working with doctors. So most of the doctors are the officers, because they go to school, become doctors, so they become the officers, right? So enlisted folks work with doctors. Basically, the enlisted work with the officers, who are mostly the providers, the doctors, and stuff like that. But as a child, you've just finished high school. You don't know what you want to do. You can go into the military. You can go on Google and research and find a recruiter that is in your area. Just say Air Force recruiter, or Army recruiter, or Navy recruiter, or Marines recruiter. Once you find that recruiter, you start working with them. Be patient. Sometimes they may have a job for you, sometimes they may not. Sometimes the job you want is not what they have. They'll give you what what they have at the time, what is available. But go to your recruiter, and whilst you go to your recruiter, do all the paperwork you need, go to basic training. After that, the military teaches you something. So what did my neighbor do? He signed up for 4 years. And when you sign up for 4 years, they have what is called a GI Bill. These are all benefits that the government gives to military folks to go to school, where the government pays for you. All right? So what did he do? After his 4 years finished, his 4-year contract, he got out. But all the time he was in working with the first 4 years, whilst he was working, as an enlisted, he was going to school. He was taking college classes. So when he was done with his 4 years, when he got out of the military, totally, absolutely got out, he stayed home and went to school, because the whole time he's staying home and going to school, he was getting paid because of his GI Bill benefit. This was after the 9/11, the attack in America. That was when the government introduced this bill. So it pays for your college education. So those are some of the benefits. So you can sign in. Let's say you get into the military, the first 4 years, it is not what you wanted to do. You get out. You say, okay, but I want to finish my schooling so that I can have a degree and then become a commissioned officer, because then you can go back, because that's what he did. He got out as an enlisted after 4 years, finished his schooling 2 years later, then commissioned as an officer. And today, I don't want to specify, his rank, but it's a great rank. If you achieve that rank, you've made it. So I'm telling you guys this because these are some of the opportunities. So just don't think because somebody's in the Army, it means they're gonna, or the Air Force, or the Navy, or the Coast Guard. Because I want you guys to understand this concept first. When people say Army, they think it's just one army. No, it's different branches, right? Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, all of that. There is even another called the USPHS. That's a whole other, entity in itself. But I don't want to, mention that one. But Air Force, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, Coast Guard, you can join this branches of service, right? I am in the Air Force, so I want to talk about the Air Force. Don't call me asking for directions. I don't have, except I would help. If you already have a degree and you want to come into the military, so the military can pay off your student loan for you. I do have a friend of mine who's a recruiter. So if you already have a degree and you want to commission, as an officer in the Air Force, I have a friend of mine who's a master sergeant that I can give you their contact, so you can reach out to them. But otherwise, if you you finished high school, you want to go in, or you're somewhere, in your life now, not just immediately you finish high school, but maybe let's say you are in your 30s, late 20s, you finished school a while back. You're struggling with jobs here and there, going from one job to the other, and you say, okay, I want to have some stability in my life. The military can give you that. I will just tell you, the older you get, the difficult things are, especially like with the basic training when you go. It's going to be very demanding, but you can get yourself, worked up, exercise, and you can stay in shape, and you'll be fine. Because the whole thing about the boot camp is just testing your mental and your physical strength at the same time. So they're testing your whole core. Your mental, your spiritual, your physical, your psychological, everything, because they're going to really take control of your life within those 2 months that they're going to have you, So whilst you're there, of course, you will not be able to see family members. Yes, you'd have time to call your family members here and there. But once you graduate, they send you off. You go to your tech school where you go learn the job that you're going to be doing for the military. After that, they send you to your first duty station. That is if you go on active duty. If you go as a reservist, where it's only 1 weekend a month, you're not active, you're reserves, that's another option. So you can say, okay, recruiter, I don't want to do active duty, I just want to do reserves. You can do that as well. If you just want to test and see what it's like. And then whilst you're doing your reserves, you can say, you know what, I like this, so let me switch and go active duty. That is also an option for you to do it. But if you're a young man, a young boy, a young girl, you just finished high school, you're 19, 20, you're home just parabolating around, not knowing what to do, the military can be your best bet. It creates a lot of opportunities for you, not only now, but for the future. Because when you're in the military, and let's say you finish your 20 years, you're done, you'd have tons of opportunities and you're still young. Imagine you retire, you finish, you get out of the military when you're, early 40s. You get out, and then you have opportunities to work as a consultant, because now you have all kinds of security clearances that has been given to you because you worked in the military. You were served in the military for your service, right? So all of these, like when you buy a house, if you're in the military, so a house that, let's say I pay for my house, my house, say $600,000, right? And we have what is called a VA loan, where the government actually backs that mortgage. So where, somebody who's not in the military will pay, say, 5% interest rate on that loan. As the military guy, I can pay 2.5% on my loan. You see, so you can afford more because, again, it's perks that comes to you because of your military service. So it's just so many things that you can beat. When you go out there, the respect that it comes with, when you're traveling. Like when I travel, I don't care how many bags I have, how heavy my bags are. I don't even have to worry about all of that. I can go anywhere in the world with my military ID, as long as I have some paperwork to back it up to show that, yes, look at me, this is me, And now at my rank that I'm at, I'm a senior enlisted leader, It comes over time, it comes with a lot of responsibility. But you guys look this up, research, find out more about yourselves, the ranking structure in the military, so you would have a better understanding. Because I'm not here to tout my own, but I'm just telling you and sharing this with you so that you can know that there are possibilities for you. There is a lot of ways you can do this for yourself. If anything, if you're confused, you don't know what to do, the military would give you that path. Would just, help you to zoom in. It helps you to conform. It helps you to have a mind of your own. It helps you to structure your life because a lot of young men need just structure. Don't be home playing video games and being lazy. As a girl, don't think you have to be home doing your eyelashes and all brows and all that stuff. A lot of women, they're doing well. Women are doing well in the military as well. Lots of girls. So, don't count yourself out. As long as you're young, you try to stay in shape and you can make it. You'll do it. So both men and women, I just want to talk to you about these opportunities. I wanted you to know that these are the opportunities that await you. Go into the military. You're not going to lose. You would not lose. If anything, you will not lose. I say it again. You have so much to gain getting into the military. All right. It's been a while. I wanted to talk about that. And like I said again, you can Google it up and look to search for recruiters in your area. And by the way, if any Sierra Leonean who's in any branch of the military and you are a recruiter, reach out to me. Let me know. If you know somebody who's in the military, in the U.S. and they're a recruiter, and if there are folks here that are interested, just make a comment and say, hey, listen, I'm interested in joining the military. If you're a recruiter, you can, comment as well. So these people, can go to you depending on what they want to do. If you're in the Army, Air Force, Marines, whatever it is, they will make a choice. Just make sure you guide them through the path. But I'm Air Force. I'm recommending Air Force because Air Force is what I know, the system and structures and everything. I mean, that's really what I wanted to share with you guys. There's lots of opportunities. Don't sit down, sit back and let it pass you. So again, let me recap this. Remember, you can go through the Naval Academy, you can go through West Point, you can go through the Air Force Academy as well. It is in Colorado, but you have to apply. So go on Google, look it up, and apply. However, all of these academies, they have a cutoff age of 21. So if you're past 21 already, no, good luck to you, right? I'll say go enlisted route. If you don't want to pay student debt, you don't want to have a student, loan, like me, I don't want to have student loan. So all these years, I've been using my military benefits. Every year, I get $4,500 that goes towards education. Every year, everyone in the Air Force, $4,500 that goes towards your education. You can use it as long as you're using it for college education. You can use that. So it's there to you. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to take a student loan. So those are all the benefits. Those are all the perks. You get so much respect in society everywhere you go. People value you. You get respect. You apply for jobs, for example, government jobs. If I apply for certain government jobs, my application takes precedence over most civilians in the first place because we get what we call veteran's preference as a veteran. I'm a veteran. So they the English and the Creole can mix up about veteran. Like who call us say them veteran them, right? So yeah, I say veteran. I lost some connection there, but that's what I want to talk to you guys about. So I want to leave this here. If you have questions, I'll try to respond to some of those. But do the rest of the work yourself, guys. Do the rest of the work. Google. You're in America, use the internet. Google all this information that I've given to you. Find out what's the best path. Go enlisted. Go boot camp. Basic training. Talk to a recruiter. Find out, and see all the information that you need. Go off, guys. Stop procrastinating. Stop thinking too much about it and all that stuff. All right. Stop thinking too much. Just go off and go do what you want to do and take care of yourself. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave this live right here. Like I said again, for the nurses, if you're one of those people, we're going to try to get to you, by the weekend or so, because by Monday, we want you guys to start going to the office now so you can pick up the first set of paperwork and get more information on what the expectations are and all of that stuff. Like what the application fee is, all of that information will be provided to you by my staff at the office there. But we'll send you guys emails with all the information. All right, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. And over the next few days, maybe by Monday or so, because this weekend I'm going to be a little bit busy. I'm going to be touching on societal issues. Those are the things I want to talk about. Young men, in societies today, respect, dignity. Who's a good man? Who's a good woman? Stuff like that. Because we're losing values in society. Moral values are dying. And some of us should not sit by and watch that go away. But anyways, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Let's leave this right here. Okay? But don't sit back and procrastinate. Make a move for yourself. The military, you don't have to join the military, but I'm telling you, it is the best thing you can do for yourself because it opens up a lot of doors, lots of opportunities, and you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Once you're in the system, you're in the system. All right? Okay. Take yourself of yourself, all right? Bye-bye.